Hey everyone, I have here a big Lego Monkey kit set. It's the Galactic Explorer. Thank goodness this set is significantly bigger than it looked like it was going to be in pictures, at least to me. You look at it relative to a minifigure that's right up against it. And yeah, the rocket at least is rather significant. It has a little bit of stuff on the side. A bunch of what you see down here is minifigures, so I'm just going to go ahead and clear that off along with some accessories. And then there's this thing, which is a little rover. We'll look at that up close. And then this is the structure, the ground structure, support structure. So let's focus on just the main thing first, the big rocket itself, which is, like I said, pretty impressive, and take a look at it from some different angles as well. Yeah, that's right. I don't even care that I got the little thing accidentally showing up a little bit on the side there. It's not that big of a deal. This looks decent around the camera not friendly side. I guess I could at least center it up there a little bit. It's not too bad of a look. As a matter of fact, I have half a mind to actually like it better from this side because it has less colors and less color blocking going on. I personally, don't like some of the Monkey King styling of this. Obviously, this is heavily inspired by Monkey King's staff, or now Monkey Kid's staff, and has a lot of ornate details on it that just don't appeal to me personally. I would prefer that it be a little bit more plain. That's just the American in me, partially, not entirely that, but just kind of, subjective likes. But I can get past that. This thing is definitely not just conventional. If I pick it up like this, you see it's trying to look like a spaceship, not just a rocket, not just a multiple or single stage to orbit rocket, but something that will actually continue flying once it's up there and probably make a landing at some point. So this to me makes a lot more sense than it did in its vertical position, but I appreciate the fact that it has both options available for display and play both. These whiskers up front or at the top are fully clad in drum lacquered gold, which is nice. You got the two identical canopy pieces in red. Those did come a little bit scuffed, unfortunately. Right from the factory, this does use quite a few stickers, and quite a few of them are very prominent in the appearance. These are windows on the sides. You can probably see what those are. They're angled to the right now. So the top is here and the bottom of each is here. An existing windscreen piece that's mostly been used for like city construction equipment, here being used in a very different way. Nice part usage there, I would personally call that. This is a cargo area. We'll get back to that. This is probably my personal favorite part on either side of the whole design. This is the way it angles out. This looks like some sort of heat exchanger, and then has a couple of cannons on the sides that are simulated there. But in the middle is a shooter, an actual shooter, a spring-loaded shooter with the tail just barely accessible, barely sticking out the back. So that's fit in there pretty nicely, so it's not too obvious, but it still provides that play value. Having these pieces in the teal color is pretty nice. The vertical stabilizers here are trying to look like they've got a little bit of cloud to them. You also saw a little suggestion of the cloud styling up here at the front, which makes sense. You just see the contrails forming across this as it escapes atmosphere, or as it goes through atmosphere before it escapes atmosphere. And then on the underside, fortunately, they did take care to make even the back or underside of it look good, with multiple different thrusters or exhaust points of whatever type of fuel system that they're using here, with matching trans orange colors for each of the glows there for the actual exhaust. And this here is all drum lacquered gold once again. These are drum lacquered gold pieces and drum lacquered gold ingots on each of the sides. This is all really nice stuff, and it is indeed stable enough to hold the thing up. It wasn't stable while I was building it. It took a while before I was able to actually stand it up, but now it is perfectly comfortable to put up. And again, looking a little bit more closely at the underside, this does have one weird thing going on with it. So, okay, this is all fine and plain. A little extra stickering on the underside. All of the stickers are clear backed, by the way. But this right here is weird because it's all open, and they didn't put any door here for this. But this is a spot where you can hold some extra minifig accessories potentially. The main cargo area, though, here has a nice feature because everything looks all smooth and clean right now, and you just rotate this. You just rotate it to get access. That's really good. makes good use of the space. You pull this down, and that's a spot. Works a little bit better when it's not in its vertical orientation, but you can put this little rover in there. Again, I'll show you that later. The thing that I don't like is this down here. This is my least favorite because it's another cargo compartment that has some good size in there. I mean, you can get your finger all in there, but it's not used. That space is not intended even to be used. All this does is just hold the fire ring that's included with this set, which I'm trying to put on backwards, but it just connects to that single little stud down there. There we go. A little bit difficult to do with one hand, but then this just rotates around and it fits inside. But all the rest of that space back there is not used, and it's not convenient to use either. I would personally recommend doing some modification here, leaving some stuff out so that you could use this space, because another of the best things about this, in my opinion, is how much space it has inside of it. Speaking of which, let's look inside of here and here. All of this comes off very easily as a single assembly, and that has enough room for a single figure to be kind of a pilot character in the front. You have a couple of control sticks. This is a sticker here, and then you have a couple of classic-inspired prints. I think that's just a redo of the original form of that print there, but they may have changed things just a little bit. Nice to get good quality versions of those again. And then back here, all of this pops up, and you see it goes back further, including underneath this ornate section right here. All that opens up, and look at how much space is in here. That's right, 4 actual seats. Actual seats. The figures don't have to sit on the floor. Each one has consoles and buttons and things off to the sides, and also heads-up displays, kind of holographic style displays. I can also pull these side bits off to get you a little bit better look at that. So you can look right through there. You can see what's actually on the screens. Looks like a game is being played there on the left. Got some life support status on the right and on the other side. And yes, you can't put figures down in there. You can have them seated. So a total of 4 people seated. You can also have one standing behind there, and potentially another one. It's a little bit difficult to get one down in here, but you can potentially get a 6th person in. I would call it a 4-seater with standing room for 1, and then beyond that, you're kind of on your own. But there are the other 2 screens, again, all clear backed stickers for that. And there's room for more accessories to be attached here. So you actually can put a flight suit up against this one, and then there's a radio walkie-talkie and an all-important fire extinguisher for, when things go a little bit awry. Back here, since I have this in its horizontal orientation now, I'll just show you how this does fit in this space, like so, and then just gets locked in place. And again, that just rotates out of the way. Now it's all clean, and now you can access it. They do not give you a good way to get this out, though, when it is like in universe, when it's vertical. There's no crane or anything. So this basically just has to fall out. Fortunately, it's got those bubble style or balloon style tires, which are not really tires, they're just pieces, but it makes sense. You can imagine that they are inflatables. Yeah, we're looking at this right now. It's just a single little rover, which holds a single person. You could potentially attach a second person to the back if you want to, but the color scheme here, is good. And there's another one of that nice classic print there. Before I talk about the ground station, can I ask you a question? Do you like this appearance here, how all this is shaped up, or do you prefer it like this? All I did was rotate them around, and they still fit. Obviously, this is kind of looking a little bit weird from an aerodynamic perspective, but I just feel like, get that straight there, I just feel like that makes everything a little bit more sleek, and I kind of like how now all of the canopies are facing forward, The base has a color scheme that we've not seen before for anything space related, and I like it. It works for me with significant teal and significant red. So this is your launch tower over here, so that the rocket just kind of moves up near this, and you have to use your imagination. They have a suggestion of ladder, I guess that could be considered ladder, and also fuel lines up here, fuel delivery system, and this is able to fold in and out so it gets out of the way, and you can just imagine, transporting cargo and stuff across this. But where it ends up relative to the rocket itself is not great. It's okay, but yeah, it's really not great, but that's fine. You can use your imagination a little bit there. More stickers down here. Octan in space, ladies and gentlemen. Suggestions of some piping down here, a couple tools, 4 helmets to use for EVAs, and a little comm center off to the side. You can turn those around a little bit. Have these been done in red? Yes, these have been done in red before. I believe I heard. But it's nice to see these in red. They're cool, just cool pieces. Yeah, there's nothing else really to talk about here, but I think just generally speaking, this thing does its job. You know, is a very useful, sensible, contextually applicable side build. One other side build is Robotic Mo. So this is Sandy's cat expressed as a robot. So this is not intended to represent the cat inside of an EVA suit or anything. It's literally a robot. I like how you can essentially see eyes there by looking at the studs of the parts underneath. This is a really, really good build. Doesn't use too many pieces, but it's totally appropriate. I appreciate how small it is. Speaking of Sandy and small, what? Sandy is small now. Sandy is a minifig. I don't hate that concept as much as I thought I would, because it's still Sandy. You know, you just can't take the sandiness away from him, and I think he's still as cool as a regular figure, and surely costs a whole lot less. You know, contributes a lot less to the price of the set. The prints for the legs for these, which are identical between the three, aren't completely clean. Just the production on those wasn't ideal. I like the graphic design work that they used for the flight suits all the way across. All three of these figures are pretty good, including their accessories, in my opinion. Prints on the backs of the torsos are not too bad. And underneath here, alternate face there, alternate face there. That is great. I really like that one here. And oh, there's what Sandy looks like with a serious trim. It's a little bit off-brand, but I think you could adjust to it. Of course, the other two figures we just looked at were Monkey Kid and May, and this is Mr. Tang, who is on brand with the new chopsticks and a bowl, and there's also a little one of these small swirly pieces to represent some rice. I just don't have it in there right now because it would be falling out. But I put the EVA suit on him, the mobility suit, which can obviously be used on any of the figures, but there is only one of these included in the set, and there's a good spot for this one, of course, to be attached inside of the ship. And the torsos and legs, again, are identical between all of these. And Mr. Tang does have an alternate face because that one is not applicable to every scenario, and this is just a little bit better of a generic look. This is one of two evil macaque twins in the set, and when I say twins, I mean twins. They're using the exact same hair pieces and heads and torsos between them, but you'll see in a minute why I'm not showing the second one on screen simultaneously. It does have a dual molded hair piece to get the red into the ears there, and the tail can be placed in either the up position or the down position. Overall, this looks pretty good, but this is a lot more impressive because of the massive flight suit, so you can imagine this being a real problem for the folks flying the big old ship around. This is pretty cool, and it is able to stand up okay because these little flames down here act as kickstands. So as long as it's in a default arrangement like this, it will, it'll stand just fine, but you can also angle these up and down if you want to. You can also angle these flaps up and down, so, it's got a little bit of variability to it, but otherwise everything's the same. And there is no alternate face on the back of this or the other. Again, they are identical figures underneath, and the official names are Rumble and Savage. These are the spare and leftover pieces, and there's some great stuff here because there's a white Exoforce hand, 2 sets of extra chopsticks, and a bowl of rice, extra tail, which is just plain and unprinted, extra orange beard as well. That's pretty nice. And the sticker sheet, yeah. There are a lot of stickers for this set. Again, they're all clear backed. So if you don't like stickers, if you're nervous about stickers, especially if you have pets, if you have high pile carpeting, a lot of dust in the space, rip. I had to pay $130 US for this. And like I said near the beginning, I feel better now having actually built it about that price, because from the pictures, it really didn't look like it was this massive. Another thing that really helps with the value for me is, well, it is actually massive, not just large in size. It doesn't have just a large volume of stuff here. You can feel the weight, but also helping a tremendous amount is how much interior space, usable interior space there is, which Monkey Kid is doing a really good job with, especially this right here, being able to have 4 or more people inside in addition to a pilot, and then you also have cargo carrying capability, that's very good. So my bad. For the size, the usage of space is very good. For the number of pieces, I think that it's reasonable. Just this down here again really bugs me, just how poor use of space this area is after everything else was done so relatively well. And again, some of the finer detailing of the aesthetic choices for this, the graphic design choices for this, are not my personal favorite, but that's absolutely 100% subjective. And I really did like turning these two things around. The figure selection is fine. There's not a whole lot going on there because they're all in uniform, so that's relatively a little bit boring, but at least we do get good characters there. And the side build, the primary side build, is useful. Makes sense. Overall, I feel like this is a good set. It does feel a little bit overpriced to me. $130, I would prefer it to be like 100, 110. Of course, everything Monkey Kid is overpriced right from the start. Like, it's priced higher for higher margins. That's part of their strategy, and they know what they're doing. And this stuff also is not primarily designed for an American market. That's for dang sure. So I'm not super mad at it. I would like it to be cheaper, or to have a wider selection of minifigure options. Like if they had included alternate outfits for these characters, I would have felt better about that. Yeah, they've got the helmets, which is good, and the hair pieces as well, which is good. But yeah, I'm just letting you know what I feel, what I like, and what I don't like. I definitely don't like all the clear backed stickers and the reliance on them. Fortunately, most of those really aren't needed. In my opinion, the ones that are needed are the small ones in the interior that really help with those nice consoles and screens and things. Those are good. The stuff on the outside doesn't do that much for me personally, and I would have preferred a slightly cleaner look. So there you go. You have the option. You have the option with stickers. That's one good thing about them. A lot of bad things about them too. I get that. Let me know your thoughts though. I think I've gone through everything that I've got to say about this. Thank you for watching. I will continue to work on more reviews, so I'll talk to you again soon.